Hey everyone, it's Corey from the OverLook, where we go over the books you may have overlooked. I think I've been procrastinating on this video for two reasons. One, I'm just kinda tired all the time. And two, for me to make this video, I will have to start quoting the Green Goblin right off the bat. So, if you have zero context for this story or my channel, it could be a little jarring, to say the least. But screw it. Let's do it. These are the final chapters of the Superior Spider-Man saga. Outside Empire State University, the Superior Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2099 do their best to stave off the attacking automatons. The Spider Slayers, which were created by Alchemax engineers and commissioned by Mayor J. Jonah Jameson himself. But somehow, the Green Goblin, or now known as the Goblin King, has hacked their systems. He jeers at the two heroes with his cohort, Menace, as they watch the bugs squirm and try to attack the robot's weak points.
Ooh, brilliant! That's what I was trying to do by killing Lamaze! Rest his soul. But, just like these Spider Slayers, Spidey's gotten tougher. So, I guess I'll have to try harder. A younger, more vulnerable victim. Perhaps a damsel in distress. Someone old Spidey here saved in the past. That's another one from your win column, isn't it, Bug? Albeit a small victory. Menace, show him who I'm talking about!
Menace does as she is instructed and holds up a bound Anna Maria in front of the camera. Otto rages. He smashes the screen of the nearest Spider Slayer and vows to murder the king. Spider-Man 2099 sees all of this and attempts to reason with Otto that this is an obvious attempt to separate the two of them. Together, they are more than enough to take on the robots. But Otto has already made up his mind. He leaves Spider-Man 2099 alone to be overcome by his enemies. "You bithead!" the hero screams out. "I knew you were a poser. The real Spider-Man would never." Elsewhere, in the Mindscape, where Peter Parker's persona is trapped, reliving the life of Dr. Octopus. He remembers it now. He remembers it all. He was dying, enacting his boldest plan, and ensuring that, if it failed, there would be a contingency. His mind, his memories, everything he is, uploaded into a golden Octobot and transferred into the body of his greatest enemy. And, at the time, you would expect nothing less of the great Dr. Otto Octavius. Outside, Manhattan is being torn apart. Otto swore to protect this city better than Parker ever could. Now, he is forced to look at it in flames, racked with violence. The Goblin's hordes raging with impunity. His base destroyed. His men gone. Parker Industries in dire straits. The mayor has turned on him, even as he alienated the rest of his allies. But all that pales compared to one thing. Anna Maria. The woman he loves is in the hands of a madman. And all of it is his fault. Like so many times before, the brilliant Otto Octavius, the master planner, the self-christened superior Spider-Man, has failed. Below, the police do what they can to buy time for more heroes to arrive, but it seems even the Avengers have their hands full. Thor fights off superpowered foes across the city, while Captain America and Iron Man help the vigilante Cardiac evacuate the Heart Clinic, which was previously destroyed by the Goblin King in an attempt to weaken Otto's psyche. The clinic is still filled with patients, some terminally ill. And even further down, Spider-Woman, Black Widow, and Wolverine are battling Spider Slayers in the streets when they are joined by the former police captain, Yuri Watanabe, as she introduces herself as her alter ego, the Wraith. In City Hall, every available reporter in the city has gathered to question Mayor J. Jonah Jameson on the current happenings in the newly hacked Spider Slayers. They ask if this is enough to motivate the mayor to resign. Of course not, he spouts. This is Alchemex's doing. They're the ones that created the goddamn machines in the first place. Liz Allen, former wife of Harry Osborn and current CEO of Alchemex, denies the allegations and publicly shames the mayor, stating that he has breached their agreed contract by putting the Slayers out in the public eye before the proper tests were set in place. Liz then cuts the webcam off. As she shuffles around her desk, she drops something. As she goes to pick it up, she is interrupted by her son, Normie. Quickly, Liz hides the item behind her back and tells her son to let her be. He must let his mother work. This is all for him, after all. Outside, Otto doesn't even know where to begin. Anna Maria is probably underground, but the goblins have miles of tunnels. His spider bots are no help. He has no armies, no allies. He's alone in this. Damn it, he thinks to himself. What would Parker do? That's when he hears laughter piercing the air behind him. Menace. Away, woman, he barks as he narrowly dodges her glider. I have no time to waste on lesser goblins. Menace continues to howl as she leads Spider-Man into an open subway.
Says the fool who's barely half a Spider-Man. But that works out nicely, doesn't it? 'Cause we have a girl who's barely half a hostage. But not for long. It's her time that's running short. This way, Spider-Puss. But hurry up. She's just dying to see you.
Back in the mindscape, Peter stands by as he lives through his own last moments. But something is off. He remembers this now. Parker, his old foe, was dying, trapped in his old, frail, decaying form. Dr. Octopus had finally won. Parker couldn't reverse the process, but enough of a link still existed to the point that Parker could still force Otto to relive his memories, Peter's memories, his own memories. And that's when it happens. Peter is reacquainted with his childhood, with Aunt May and Uncle Ben. He remembers that fateful day and him choosing to become a hero. He remembers every time he quit, every time he began again. He remembers Gwen, Felicia, and Mary Jane. He remembers the symbiote and the goblins and all his other adversaries. He remembers Jonah, the bugle, and all his friends, new and old, failing and saving the city time and time again. Every triumph, every tragedy, every heartache, and the joy. Family, friends, the adventure of it all, and the fun. And it's all his. The good and the bad. He built that. And he's not going to surrender 1 second of it. And that's when Peter decides, once and for all, he's taking it back. All of it. In the Goblin Underground, Otto, fueled by rage, isn't even dodging Menace's attacks. The goblin bombs detonate point blank, and the razor rings shred apart what's left of the hero's costume. But Menace wouldn't have it any other way. She doesn't ever remember seeing Spider-Man so desperate. Her sister died because of him. And, make no mistake, the spider fake will die too. But not until he has suffered. Menace continues to lead Spider-Man down the subway to a woman tied, helpless, on the train tracks. The sight of the woman is shortly followed by the piercing sounds of screeching metal as Otto looks up to see a barreling subway train piloted by the Goblin.
I've done bridges. This time I thought I'd go with tunnels.
The Goblin laughs. Anna Maria! Otto calls out as he lands on the passageway nearby. That's when he sees that it isn't Anna. It's Amy. Amy Chen, the child from the heart clinic.
It's another one you saved, Otto. She's making a full recovery. Although she's about to feel I might run down.
Otto holds his breath. If I miss, if I'm hit, there will be no one to save Anna Maria. What should I... Jump! Peter bellows from the back of Otto's brain, motivating him to react and leap forward, grab the girl, and pull her to safety. Just in time.
Oh, well done! That's one for you, Otto. One right move today. Admit all the failures. But remember, the other little darling is still in play.
Otto doesn't hear anything anymore. He doesn't hear the train, the goblin, or the sobs of the little girl pressed against his chest. Just Peter. Train's gone. No sign of Menace either. They're off to put together their next set piece. One thing you can always count on is a goblin showmanship. He then looks back to Otto. You screwed up, Otto. When there's time, you weigh options. When there's not, you act. And you always do the right thing, even if that means giving up the advantage, like I just did. You know I'm here now, and I know what that means. Round 2. Well, bring it. I'm ready this time. Yes. Otto agrees as he exits the subway and hands over Amy Chen to a nearby police officer. You are. I didn't really comprehend what I was in for. I was arrogant. No, it's more than that. We've both been in each other's heads. We know the truth. I'm arrogant, yes, but it's because I know, underneath it, that I'm not the best. I'm flawed, so I overcompensate. But you're guilt-ridden because deep down you know you are smarter than others, better. But it came at a painful price, so you sabotage yourself. That won't happen today. You said it yourself. When lives are at stake, you don't hesitate. Today, you will own up to it. Today, you must accept that you are superior. The superior hero. That is what we all need. That and nothing less. Peter, still trapped in Otto's mind, is left to watch as Otto swings them across the city and back to Parker Industries. As they enter the building and make their way to their lab, they are intercepted by Sajani, who is still on site. Not much time has passed since she and the Wraith cured Carly Cooper from the Goblin formula. Spider-Man? Shouldn't you be out fighting goblins? Whatever. It's a good thing you came, because we've had a... Silence, Miss Jaffrey. I have no time for you now, he counters as he enters the lab and begins closing the door behind him. Hey, that's Peter's lab. You can't just... Shut up! Otto slides the door closed and listens for the click of the lock. He then turns to his robot butler, the living brain. Robot, ready the chair. I will be entering the mindscape, he states as he sits down. The automaton walks over to his computer and prepares the machine before gently placing the helmet atop of Otto's head. Peter, apprehensive, tells him, Just so you know, Otto, if this is some kind of trap, I'm ready for anything. I believe you, he responds softly. That's why I'm doing this. And, just like that, everything from Otto's childhood starts to fade. His overly protective mother, his abusive father, the friends he never made, his first encounter with the wall crawler, and all the failures that followed. You must have no distractions, no confusion. I'm expunging all of my memories, one after the other. My time as a villain must be erased, along with all my heroic deeds. Peter watches as the visage of Amy Chen appears and dissolves. Professor Lamaze and Otto's heroic feats at the university, all gone. And, finally, a tear creeps up and rolls onto the side of Otto's cheek. What I've held on to so passionately. But it must go as well. My Anna Maria. Peter, stunned, almost doesn't respond. You really loved her. Yes, Otto responds. Peter could be mistaken, but he could have sworn he heard the man let out a small, pained chuckle. He gives Otto time, and they both stand, together, in silence, as they watch Otto's last precious memory of Anna Maria fade into nothingness. At this point, even Otto's voice begins to fade. And to save her, I must give up every part that I love. For I know only you can save her. Because you are the superior Spider-Man. Peter opens his eyes. He sits in silence for a moment. His mind, now more clear and, at the same time, more full than it's ever been. He wipes the tear off his cheek and quietly removes the helmet from his head. It's time, he decides, before standing to his feet and making his way to the closet. Peter removes the shredded costume Otto once bore and replaces it with something a little more familiar. Because now, it's his turn.